All right, so every time we get a prescience update chapter, just know, best believe, it's going to be some lore, some exposition, and a whole lot of future scenes to look forward to. Granted, the overall consensus of Koji's ability when he has these 10 past visions, he's seeing all possible futures in every possible scenario up until the current point in time when he's getting the update. Now, for us as a reader and for Ikimoto and his visual preference, every time we've seen these updates occur in TBV moving forward, as opposed to the first time we've seen it when Koji had the flashbacks and all those future visions during his initial fight against Ishiki, and he saw all the things being laid out for the end of part one leading into omnipotence and the eventual birth of the Shinju. Even with this minor exception of that, Ikimoto tends to take this chance and this opportunity to, emphasize not only that, yes, Kashikoji is being able to see all of these infinite possible futures, but he's showing us the upcoming events in the future arc. And this has been done the first time, it's been done the second time, and now it's going to be done again. We've seen it when it came through with this guy, Kawaki popping up, right? In the same time when he stabbed Juro through the eye, Koji got the updates. We started seeing all of these visions, some of them simultaneously being played out right in real time, and others occurred and unfolded as the chapters, released and dropped, bleeding and leaking into the Momoshiki battle. The sole exception to this rule is whenever Koji is having a conversation and he mentions a future that he saw that wasn't necessarily shown to us in the type of will or real format that we see Koji has. So the way Ikimoto depicts this ability, right? Koji is essentially standing in the middle of a platform, and then he has these film or movie reels rolling around him, and each reel has its own slot, and each slot is its own future. So Koji is watching every single future in all of these reels unfold, and each slot has a different outcome. Most of them have similar fixed points, but for the most part, they're showing all of these different futures. Yet for the visual representation, Ikimoto takes this opportunity to show us, oh, this is something you can possibly look forward to in the upcoming arc. So the last time we saw this, like I said, simultaneously, we saw Kawaki stab Juro in the eye as Koji got that vision, and then other future visions of Kawaki and Juro fighting. Obviously, we saw Momoshiki, we saw Damon, we saw Himawari, we saw all of these things. We even saw more Mangekyo Sharingan Sarada, and we see how all of those events played out. And we were questioning, why are we seeing Inojin? Why are we seeing Shikadai? Why are we seeing Chocho on all of these visions? And we see how the Momoshiki invasion arc eventually played out throughout the chapter. Now, Koji himself stated that, yes, these visions are changing and nothing is occurring in the way that, he's expected or he has seen in previous times. But like I said, this is also Ikimoto's way, stepping out of the story, just showing us, the readers, hey, this is about to happen in the next few, next few chapters and the next few panels. Because I know some people are going to have a hard time differentiating and drawing a fine line between Koji basically saying, yeah, all possible futures and up to a certain fixed point. And then after the updates occur, then things could come into the basically picture to shake things up, as opposed to us seeing the reels and actually having these events being played out and outlived for us in front of our very eyes in the next upcoming chapter. So he's still seeing all possible futures. It's just that the ones that we are seeing, because remember, in Koji's mind, these are constantly running reels. We're only seeing still shots, right? So Ikimoto's taking the opportunity to give us these still shots to show us these upcoming arcs. But all in all, bro, every chapter, this happens. The lore is crazy. And this chapter was very, very different because it felt actually very long. And every time we have the elders in a chapter, you already know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not even... I think, I did review chapter 35, and I think I reviewed chapter 34. I gave y'all 2 reviews back to back. So fuck this, because I'm going to stress myself out if I take too much time talking about the pure idiocy. I got so many words I can lay out for these guys. But about all of their, like, from the conversations, the conclusions, the jumping to conclusions, and the overall result of everything. It's not so I want y'all to praise and hail Boruto as a good guy. It's like, is that the best plan and the best idea y'all could, like, out of everything laid on the table? These guys go over everything this chapter, everything that's been laid out in the last 35 chapters. It makes sense if Boruto is actually working with this shit. Like, that's the dumbest.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Fucking conclusion you could come to, and people are going to come here and come here again. You got to remember Boruto Kawaki switch. I'm not talking about Boruto Kawaki switching places. I'm talking about the pure idiocracy on the side of the village in terms of coming to a conclusion that the Shinju are working with Boruto. That's all I'm saying. It could be Kawaki in that picture, or it could be Boruto. It's still dumb and it's still idiotic. And I still question why they keep these old fuckers alive. Like, at this point, I don't advocate for this type of things. Give them the needle or kill them off. Forget about them, Ikimoto. Like, I don't want them in the story. Give somebody else this annoying role, because it's like the role of annoyance and antagonistic forces within the village needs to be played, and I understand that. But these characters are so stupid and senile. I can't even blame it on their old age, because even when they were in the mid 40s and 50s, they were making dickhead, boneheaded, dumb decisions. And like I said, this is why I can't do a review for this chapter, because I'm going to spend too much time just on this section alone. So Boruto chapter 36 opens up with a crazy cover, and it's like, it's one of those things, bro, like, this nigga Amato talking about some parental love to Kasha. Like, I'm under the belief now, chat. I've always knew Amato was slick and he was sly, but I don't even think it's about his daughter no more. If you really genuinely believe he's doing all this and the sole and the game reason is just to bring his daughter back to life, that's it, he got you fooled too. People are talking I'm putting too much emphasis on Amato could be behind omnipotent. I'm throwing around tinfoil hat theories. But the main point of all of these crazy theories, most likely Amato isn't behind omnipotence or all these other things. But the main point I'm making is that he's not simply just trying to revive his daughter. That's not his end goal. And once we get closer to this Akebi nonsense, we're going to find out more. Because if it's simply just that, why are all of these links? Bro, he knows too much. He knows too much, right? He simply knows too much. Now, this chapter gave us a lot. So we're going to really focus on these infinite futures that we saw, Kasha Koji saw. And we're going to spend future videos talking about basically the dynamic between both Amato and Koji. Because we know that whole kidnap mission, some people could say it was probably a little bit underwhelming. But the conversations and dialogue between Koji and Amato was fitting, especially for the two characters and seeing how they play this internal chess match. And also, understandably so, Amato simply took the information he got from Koji. And also, I noticed that a lot of people are questioning, how does Amato know so much about prescience? And I'm laughing because in chapter 34 or 34, I think, Koji literally is on the intercom explaining prescience and explaining the last update he saw and explaining the weaknesses and explaining how now he's at a point where he's never seen this before, i.e. 1,000 Momoshiki. And Amato is there listening, and he says, prescience. And that's when we lead up to the cliffhanger when he confronts Kawaki with the front. I think everybody is simply getting hit with amnesia, or they're wanting to create this narrative. But no, Amato didn't randomly assume how Koji literally told him word for word in the last 2 chapters how his ability works. Amato took that information and made this plan. My whole thing is, how the fuck did you know how to shorten the interval between getting these updates? That's where the question should really lie. How do you know how to operate this ability and you just learned and heard of it? I have so many questions around this guy Amato that I can't just sit right and accept the things that he's doing with like, oh yeah, he trying to bring back his daughter. That's why that makes sense, or that's acceptable. No way, Jose. So we saw all the future visions, a whole lot of Hidari nonsense. We see some more Himawari, shout out to the star. We see some Jura content, and people were saying, I ain't gonna lie, it's looking like real mutiny out here, Shikamaru, because we got some panels of Jura and he's not looking distressed. He's not looking like he's been in battle. He's looking chill. And apparently y'all out here trying Gordon Ramsay's latest recipe with each other. I don't know, but we got to see how this unfolds. Hopefully this panel, this future is something that we definitely will see in verbatim and have more context behind. But it's looking like in the upcoming future, like I said, no distress, no battle, no hardened, no angry, no emotion. Jura's gonna be here to stay at least for the next arc or 2. I was thinking maybe this arc we might mop Jura and Hidari out, one and done, you know what I'm saying, 2 birds, 1 stone, but it's looking like it might just be Hidari. Because we got a lot of emphasis on Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan. We got a couple shots of her earring. We got a couple shots of Hidari pointing and reaching out to Sarada, and Sarada doing the same movement. Now, all of that to say is like, yes, Code pressed Shorty this chapter. And Sarada probably got a little ahead of herself thinking like, if I go down this alley, Code will be able to be more likely to attack me. Yes, but I ain't even gonna say she gotta have herself, because who the fuck, I didn't even expect Cole to have some type of chakra manipulation ability to be able to not only detect Boruto's chakra pins, but also take them away from Sarada in a sense, and basically get the drop on her and teleport her out of there all in a split second. So right before she got away, Ikimoto showed us Sarada cut on her Mangekyo Sharingan. And on top of that, he emphasized the left eye, not the right one. The right one's the one been spamming them or Hero-made gravity balls these last few years and stuff like that. So maybe he might be gearing up to show us the left eye ability. But for the sake of these future panels, it's going to be definitely a confrontation between Sarada and Hidari sometime, some way, somehow, somewhere in the future. So as Boruto's pulling up by the end of the chapter, he's just a second too late, and he's seeing distressed the flying rising pins on the ground, and he seems distressed for the fact that now Sarada is in enemy territory, and not only that, he doesn't know where she at, but he has no way of getting to her. So a lot of these things are going to be building up to the major climactic moments that we see in these future visions. So going back to the future panels, we see a lot of, like I said, Code and Sarada, and most of those things were the simultaneous panels, because right when Code attacked Sarada, that's when Cody started getting the updates, and we saw a whole lot of Code and Sarada in the updates. So as far as whatever happens between Code and Sarada, I already told y'all it wasn't that deep. He wasn't finna really do anything crazy to Sarada. Now, I don't like the way he put his hands on Sarada. I really, really don't like it. So now my hate level for Code has risen 10,000. You know what I'm saying? Because what do you... Fuckers, keep your hands to yourself, little nigga. That simple as that. Keep your hands to yourself, little nigga. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, he ain't really finna do no damage, because we see that her next main focus is gonna be on this guy, Hidari. Now, I know I talked about Code and being jumped by possibly Boruto and Sarada. It looks like things aren't going to unfold that way, but even if we don't get a Code confrontation basically against Sarada and Boruto, right now, we have to look forward to basically is Sarada versus Hidari. Now, I do hope, at the very least, we may get a little one-on-one with Code and Sarada. Basically, before Code takes her to the main hideout, he has a little moment where he takes her to the Ten Tails dimension or somewhere else where it's just him before he takes her to the Shinju, and we can get some dialogue, get some context, possibly even a little squabble between the two, just to set everybody straight, because I'm tired of people downplaying Sarada. I'm tired of people acting like I'm just riding on the coattails of Ohirame, which I am, because it's that OP, but also, you take Ohirame away, you're acting like she don't got 5 fingers and a whole closed fist that'll punch your ass into oblivion. Now, rant aside, yes, I hope for a little squabble. Will it happen? Probably not. So let's look forward to whatever this juicy story is going to have cooked up for the confrontation between Hidari and Sarada, because it's going to be philosophical, it's going to be emotional, and it's going to have a whole lot of weight to it. So I'm looking forward to that. But let's talk about the juice. Let's talk about the sauce. Because I've been talking about the panels, I've been talking about the Queen Sarada, future visions, Kasha Koji-Amato, this, that, and the third. And by the way, big Akebi Otsutsuki, free Akebi until it's backwards, you know what I'm saying? The love of my life, Delta, it's always going to be love, but right now, we are waiting the long-awaited return for Akebi, you know what I'm saying? The only way I'm going to have hate for Akebi is if we sacrifice Delta to get to Akebi. I'm that type of guy, I'm greedy, I want Akebi and Delta, right? Now, that aside, the heat, the gas, my guy, Big Momoshiki Otsutsuki, pulling up like a storm. We finally got the horned form for one of these two characters being in Boruto or Kawaki. We finally got Borushiki in his full TBV form, showcase, and formatted for us, basically what it would look like. Now, in this panel, it's interesting because it doesn't seem like there's Juro, there's anybody. It looks like Momoshiki or Borushiki at this point either just came through basically on some type of agreement with Boruto and Momoshiki, or Boruto fell into some type of despair or some type of, you know what I'm saying, rage, because we see in other panels, we have Boruto activating the Karmasa, we have Boruto, his eye bleeding, we have Boruto looking like either he's tanking an attack or he's just in distress. So these panels can very much and very well be correlated. And if they are, does this spell doom for everyone else around? Like, is Momoshiki gonna simply rampage and destroy the village? Now, Momoshiki is very havoc and chaotic, but he's never been the type to basically revive and reawaken a Boruto body and just start destroying shit. It's always, he has a targeted, you know what I'm saying, demographic. Because if he awakens, he's not just gonna Rasengan everything, Rasengan this, Rasengan that, no. But if he has a target, and regardless of how big or small you are, he might just start Rasengan everything in hopes of destroying said target, right? It's about the repercussions and the collateral damage that Momoshiki necessarily doesn't care about, as opposed to purposefully causing. But it looks like he's out here and he's by himself. So I don't know, because I said Jura still looks peaceful in these panels, and now we got Momoshiki popping up, and it looks like he possibly either took advantage of Boruto or they're all some type of agreement. But we have Borushiki here, we have the full horn, right? We see Kawaki in his Karma 2 state. I like how Ikimoto's keeping his head paws cut off because we can't tell if the horn is fully grown or not on Kawaki, but it looks like the horn state, the Karma 2 version plus states are about to be coming back. Shout out to Barubi, because we already understand how my boy feel about these Karma version states. If it was up to Baru, he'd get Boruto and Kawaki at least 3 to 4 different version horn states on their own, right? Because that's just how he rocks. But it looks like we got the horn state back, so it's going to be a lot more to look forward to. Boruto 2 Vortex after 36 gave us a lot, but these are the things I really, really, really rocked with, and these are the things that really didn't give me a headache. Them elders, I just can't talk about them right now. I just can't, because it's going to be a whole different thing. So let me know how y'all feel about it. It's your boy Black Shot, the long face, skinny body. Holla at your boy. I'm holla at y'all, Black Shot. Yes, sir. Ski.